Right, so I'm out doing a TSI management cut. Look at this. That's good water right there for your survival gurus. That's these forest vines. I mean, look at that thing. It's just pouring out of there. This is just good old moisture. Nothing wrong with this stuff at all. So anyways, let me show you what I'm doing. All right, I'm in the woods creating some more cover. You see we got all these junk trees in here. This is a hardwood stand, but they raped it, as most people do when they log. See that stump right there? So when they rape it and take too much of the hardwoods, this crap grows in. These thin, lighter colors are all junk. It's all garbage, and it's unfortunate that that's what takes over a nice hardwood stand. So I'm eliminating a lot of these. You see that one down there? I'm cutting them either all the way off or just hinge cutting them to lay them down so I could open up some more sunlight, with the hopes that the good hardwoods that are left, there's a hickory and there are a few oaks. You give more sunlight to them and more sunlight to the forest floor for more thick, nasty brush to grow, for more cover for your deer. So there's your tip for the day. Look at her, she's still dripping. Very nice. So this is a hinge cut for those who don't know what a hinge cut is. The purpose of this is twofold. Actually more than two. This is more of a junk tree. You see how nasty and gnarled it is. It's to remove the junk tree. But B, if you hinge it successfully, the tree will stay alive and it will continue to grow for browse for the deer. And if you hinge a bunch of these together, the deer will bed under them for more cover. So you're opening up the forest floor for good trees like that straight hickory right there, and this oak right here. So the good trees get more sunlight to grow. You get more weeds. That sounds like the electrician pulling in. You get more browse on the forest floor and cover for the deer and other critters as well, smaller critters. Deer already travel and bed in here. I've seen several beds already, and you can see the trail there and comes out to my bean field. And I've hunted here now, so I've seen them travel in this little patch of woods. But the reason I'm trying to thicken this patch up is because I got neighboring property right there and neighboring property right there. And the goal is, if you're more strict at hunting and lighter pressure, particularly gun hunting, you want to give them deer a thick, nasty hideaway, a place to dive into, and where hopefully they stay and wait it out. So here's an example of kind of a crown hinge cut. It just worked out this way, but you try to get your trees this way. So you see all the hinges here, and they all come together here. So the goal here is that if they survive, that'll be a canopy of thick leaves, and it's almost like a shelter underneath, which I really should clean this out. And then that could be a doe bedding area. So you make these all over, and then at the same time, this is what you want, that sunlight getting to the forest floor. I've had 3-4 foresters in my woods here with me, and their forestry plan is pretty much the same. The only difference is they'd say cut these trees down and just kill them, but they said it ain't gonna bother anything hinging them like I do. You're still accomplishing the same thing. Is like that beautiful big oak right there. You want to give the good hardwoods more sunlight and that, and down at the bottom basically you want scrubby leafy junk to grow for cover and for cover and browse for the deer. Another thing I try to do when I hinge cut, you see this is a deer trail right here. I try to keep their deer trails open. So like that tree I had to take down, and I got some brush over here, but I try to keep their existing trails open. It's just something I like to do. So you see how wide open these woods are here. Let me show you where I'm working here. Now you look over here where I'm laying these trees down, and it's only going to get thicker. I tend to run these in long sweeping lines so that it's kind of an extended bedding area, and if deer choose, they'll often travel right next to this thick stuff. So I mean, these woods are kind of pretty in the fall, park-like as they call it, but for wildlife and habitat, they're really not that useful, unless these are all white oaks, which they're not. This is also the best time of the year to walk the woods, to see where they're traveling, but more important, to figure out why. See, here's a pretty nice trail that they're using, and I'm watching all these trails as I'm walking through here, kind of shed hunting, and they're crossing this opening, so I follow their trails and I try to figure out what it is about that particular location that makes them want to use it, and I look for those features elsewhere. My plots, and look here, here's a scrape right here, and there's the licking branch. It's not all that abandoned, so I'm just walking trails looking for sheds, learning the land more, and of course it's raining. Why wouldn't it? I mean, the ground's too wet to do anything else with machines, so I'm doing a little shed hunting before everything greens up, which will probably be in a matter of days. This is really what I want to see more of, and there's so few and far between, but this is a beautiful white oak. White oak is the single best deer mass tree there is. Red oak is kind of behind it because they're bitter, but white oak, man, look at that. I wish there was more of these things. There's a skinnier one right about there. Of course, there's a stump of a beautiful one they took. But at least we have a few of these around the property. If you got a property with white oaks on it, you're way ahead of the game already. All right, and I hit the nail on the head with the white oaks. I'm right still next to that big one. We've got probably turkey scratchings here, and then it looks like a deer bed there. It's padded down. But then look at this. I'm a day late and $1 short, or 5 years short, but we got an old antler shed. Very old, eaten down. This was a decent sized one right here. But here's the trail he was probably on, where they come from the neighbors, just like I mentioned earlier. They're going to cross my driveway and come through here. And right up over that rise is where I'm hinge cutting for some thicker cover. So white oaks, man, gosh, I wish I had more, but at least I have a few. I call them the trees of wisdom. They just get so big and beautiful like that. And this oak here is either a red or a black or a pin or something. They put down some acorns, but not quite, nothing like the white oaks. The deer just love, and turkeys and squirrels love them white oaks.